Hey there, good morning. I'm meteorologist Chita Craft. Brand new update from the National Hurricane Center. We have Tropical Storm Cristobal. This isn't the exact wave, though, that we thought would be upgraded today. In fact, if you were watching on the morning show, this tropical wave had a 50% chance of development, and now the National Hurricane Center says, you know what, we've got a tropical storm on our hands. It's weak, maximum sustained winds at 45 miles per hour. It's moving east, so this is moving away from the U.S. Even though it's in, the northern Atlantic, it's moving around 25 miles per hour. So it is moving quickly. It's going to probably die out within the next 12 to maybe 24 hours, and then it'll go back to a tropical wave. But again, brand new tropical storm. This is our third tropical storm of the season, Tropical Storm Cristobal. Looking across the Atlantic, it is very active. When we got the update from the National Hurricane Center of a brand new tropical storm, I thought it would be this red one right here. See this X? That's a tropical wave right now. It has an 80% chance of development. That has stayed steady. It's been consistent since last night. So if you were watching Trevor last night at 10 p.m. or watching our morning show this morning, you'd have seen an 80% chance. Here's Cristobal. That's the wave that had a 50% chance earlier today. And then this yellow wave just off the coast of Africa, still at a 30% chance. What's interesting, today, this wave could become Dolly. Dolly is the next name on the list. We've had now with Cristobal 3 tropical storms for the season. Remember Arthur and Bertho, which did have impacts here in Houston. I know they were minimal at that, but again, the next name on the list will be Dolly, and we'll be looking for that area that's red across the Atlantic to become Tropical Storm Dolly, potentially today or early tomorrow. What my overall thought is, we've got this stationary area of high pressure, which you do in the Atlantic. You get clockwise flow around an area of high pressure. So sometimes these waves can get caught in the upper level steering currents, and that's actually what drives them a little further north, keeps them offshore from the U.S. And notice how Cristobal is actually going to follow right in line with those upper level steering currents. However, this is taking a little bit more of a southerly track. So the red is where we're watching for potential either a tropical depression or tropical storm Dolly either today or tomorrow. And this is where we need to potentially watch from the windward or leeward islands, and then how much land interaction that depression or tropical storm will have to see if it can sustain itself or does that shear itself apart. When these systems have land interaction, it really disrupts them from trying to intensify. So overall, that's what we'll be watching today. This area of high pressure, if you're looking at that, that's almost directly over us. That's why we're going to be dealing with high heat. Back to the tropics, we're almost getting into the peak of hurricane season. I always say mid-August through mid-September is typically when the Atlantic gets going, and that's exactly what's happening. We are in a typical El Nino pattern where the Pacific has been really active. Across the Atlantic, it's been fairly quiet. Well, we're heading into the peak of hurricane season, and those sea surface temperatures, even though they're trending about a half a degree cooler, they're still plenty warm enough to support tropical development. September the 10th, though, is the official peak of hurricane season. So keep it locked right here on KHOU, that Tropical Storm Cristobal that just developed. I'll give you one last look at that in case maybe you joined a little later. You can see how that is the wave that was the further north wave if you've been keeping track. We're watching 3 different waves across the Atlantic. When we got that Cristobal formed from the National Hurricane Center, again with the 10 o'clock update, this is the northernmost one. So this is in the northern Atlantic. It's moving away from the U.S. The next wave that we'll be watching, and meteorologist Chris Ramirez is in-house. And of course, if we get any updates before noon or 4 o'clock today, of course, he will let you know. It's this wave with the red X. This could potentially be Tropical Storm Dolly. Dolly will be the next name on the list. For now, I'm meteorologist Chita Craft.